Welcome back to MMA Al Dente. I'm here to talk about Diego Lopez versus Pat Sabatini. Pat Sabatini is 18-4 as a pro, 32 years old, and he's given up 3 inches of height and 2.5 inches of reach to 28-year-old Lopez, who is 22-6 as a pro. Diego Lopez made his UFC debut earlier this year, I think, and he won everybody's respect, myself included, when he lost to Movsar Evloev. That was a fight in which he was probably like a plus 600 underdog or something, short notice, all the shit going against him, and he stole the show in that fight. Stole the show, threatened Movsar Evloev in ways we haven't seen him threatened, and really showed he's a dangerous guy, particularly off his back, and a guy that has a great work rate as well. And then he made his return to the UFC and he armbarred Gavin Tucker, which he got it done in round 1. It was a beautiful victory. I believe the odds were pretty close there in that one, and he made it a very easy fight for himself. Smoked him. Diego Lopez has 2 losses via TKO and 4 via decision. The 2 TKO losses, I've only seen one of them. This guy, Amir Elzarkayev, I think that's how you say it. He knocked him out in round 2 on the ground. Diego Lopez, as you might imagine, was throwing up everything from his back. He is, he's always been a very active submission guy, but he was neutralized after some time, and then it seemed like he was hurt. I don't know exactly what was going on, but he was motioning, whatever, and then he was pounded out, I think even out. But, it's not like there's a replay and it's not the finest footage. So, whatever. But that's the one I've seen. The other one happened in round 2 as well. I haven't seen that. And then all 4 of his other losses come by decision. He lost to Joe Anderson Brito on the Contender Series. That was a technical decision, but still, he performed very well there as well, threatening Joe Anderson with every submission in the book, just like he did with Movsar Evloev in his UFC debut. And then the other 2 come to Nate Richardson and this guy, Thiago Silva, not the former light heavyweight. But here he's fighting Pat Sabatini, who is another very, very good grappler. This is a fantastic matchup. These two, I can't wait to say. I'd be fascinated if either guy got a submission victory. And it's not to say I don't respect their offense. It's just that I respect their skill, that I respect their defense. It'd be amazing if either guy was able to tap the other. But Pat Sabatini, he is more of a wrestling-based jiu-jitsu guy. I think he's got a little more control in him as opposed to Diego Lopez, who is much more willing to accept bottom position and figure it out on the go because he is such an active submission threat. And that's going to be an interesting clash of styles here because it's not like, I do think Pat Sabatini is more likely to have control, top control, but Diego Lopez is a guy that can take that away from you on activity alone, where, you don't want to be in this guy's guard. Speaking of which, Pat Sabatini might be one of the few guys to advance and take away the guard of Diego Lopez by cutting through it. I don't think there's too many guys that can cut through the guard of Diego Lopez and mount him, but Pat Sabatini is a really good top-game fighter, and just a perfect blend of wrestling and jiu-jitsu skill. He can lace up a heel hook and fight off his back as well, but he wants to be on top. He's much more comfortable there, and I think it makes for a fantastic matchup, grappling-wise. Striking-wise, I favor Diego Lopez. He's got the height and the reach, and Pat Sabatini, he's only got 2 TKO victories in his 18 wins, as opposed to 8 in his 22 wins for Diego. And also, Pat Sabatini has been TKO'd. He's got 2 TKO losses in his 4 losses, and the other 2 by decision. All to good guys. He lost to Robert Watley and Chepe Mariscal by decision. And then the TKOs, he lost by injury to, I think, a Serra-Longo guy, James Gonzalez. And then Damon Jackson front kicked him in the face and TKO'd him, secured position and pounded him. he's never been knocked unconscious, but I have a little bit of doubt in his durability because Damon Jackson did knock him down, although it was a fucking front kick. And also Jamal Emmers somewhat recently, knocked him down in the first few seconds of their fight as well. Of course, he proceeded to lace up a heel hook and tap him out a few seconds later. But a little bit of doubt there with Pat Sabatini. But offensively, no doubts at all. I mean, this guy just watches mauling of Lucas Almeida. Holy shit. Just beat him bloody and choked him, with an arm triangle choke. Pat Sabatini is an offensive monster. And this one here, I think it's going to be a really close fight. I slightly favor Pat Sabatini because he's got the wrestling control. I think he's also an incredible jiu-jitsu guy where he should be safe, theoretically, from the attacks on Diego Lopez. And then I think, in general, he just has his hips higher throughout the course of the fight. So I slightly favor Pat Sabatini, but not enough to even bet on him at minus 120 because Diego Lopez is so goddamn active off his back and is, I think, so good that he's going to take away the offensive attacks on the ground of Pat Sabatini, where I think this one is going to be a very close fight. I think it's going to be a very close fight, and I do think it will go the distance. So, pretty much staying away from it, but yeah, gun to my head, I guess I'd favor Pat Sabatini via Top Control. Like, share, subscribe, all that horse shit. Check out my other videos.